Hey guys, this video is going to be talking about my new found shamanic gifts and abilities, being able to heal past life stress, heal the energy body, heal genetic stress, and also healing negative energy and any dark magic, curses, black magic, that kind of thing. And it's really just amazing what I've been able to experience myself, and just going through all my past lives and healing all the trauma that is coming up for me now, because we're all in a time where you might have noticed that you've been, having things come up from the past, in your awareness recently, things that maybe you haven't forgiven yourself for, that you haven't dealt with. And it's the energy on the planet now is really bringing these things up for us to remember and to actually deal with, because we haven't dealt with them yet. So, and it's okay, like, it's really important for us not to be harsh on ourselves and not to actually have regrets, but rather having forgiveness for yourself, forgiving yourself, because all the bad choices and mistakes that you've made in your life doesn't make you who you are today. It's actually showing you who you are not. So I think that's a common misconception, is that people believe that your past choices and experiences make you who you are. But I believe that your bad choices and negative experiences in your life show you who you are not. It's a reminder of the karmic lessons that you're here to actually learn on the planet. And a lot of us experience relationships that are actually karmic. And, because we don't actually heal these things that's happening, because the universe sets you up to experience these things on repetitively, so that you're able to learn the lesson that that is coming online for you to learn. And when you don't learn the lesson, then you continuously have to go through this repetitive cycle of experiencing the same relationships and the same experiences with people, until you learn the lesson. So, and that's one thing that I've learned from healing all my past life stuff, is realizing that things were coming up constantly for me, because I haven't dealt with it yet, and I hadn't healed it. For example, with my dad, I always, throughout my life, always had the same story about my dad not being around, and my dad left Jamaica 2 days before I was born, so it was never really there for me, and I had, a lot of abandonment issues, and always the same story repeating in my mind. Even with my partner Nahanda now, I've always had that same story of abandonment coming up and repeating, and the fear of being abandoned, and yeah, and I healed. I realized that it's all connected to a past life that I had with my dad, where he killed me in that past life, and and I hadn't healed that past life, and it's a part of the big lesson that I'm having to learn in this lifetime, is forgiveness. And yeah, and that's why those emotions of abandonment and everything kept coming up, because I was having to learn forgiveness. And as soon as I realized that, I was able to just let go of so much heavy emotions and so much heaviness that was blocking my full expression, and and my relationship with my dad. And because there was so much things that I was needed to say to him that I hadn't been able to say, because I was sort of like protecting him and protecting myself, and the fear of hurting someone and hurting myself. But it was my inner child really needing to express these things. So I had the conversation with him, and I told him exactly what I was feeling and how I felt abandoned. And because he really honestly believed that he never abandoned us, and but I really did feel abandoned. And so I had to express that to him and let him know that I'd forgiven him, and I've forgiven him on a physical, mental, and spiritual level. So I'd forgiven him for that past life as well. And it's also a part of his karmic lesson, having to have me as a child to be able to um, yeah, to be forgiven, and yeah, and for forgiving himself as well, you know. And yeah, and that's a big part of the karmic lesson that we're having to learn in this lifetime. And yeah, it was a really, really powerful thing, really powerful lesson for me. And yeah, and since talking to my dad about this, it's actually put up our relationship to the next level, and it was just such a powerful, powerful thing. And yeah, now before this, I wasn't able to connect with him on a soul level, and I feel really now I'm able to connect with him on a soul level. So, guys, it's a really, really powerful thing for us to learn is to reflect on the past, and not just past in this lifetime, but because it's all connected, you know, reflecting on our past life stress as well, because it gets repeated in this lifetime. All the things that we haven't dealt with, and what actually happens is that our soul is gets fragmented throughout time and space when you haven't dealt with past trauma that happened in previous lifetimes. And so yeah, past life stress is a big thing for us in this lifetime, is to learn the karmic lessons that we're here to learn on the planet. And once you learn that, you're able to transcend beyond the repetitive negative patterning that's happening in your psyche, in your life, and playing out in your life. And so yeah, it is important to project yourself into the future, and to know what you want, because you're creating your reality. But when you're unaware of what's happening on a subconscious level and happening in your psyche and the reasons for it happening, you're unaware, you're unable to control what actually occurs in future timelines. So by reflecting into our past and looking deep into our subconscious and doing this deep inner work and looking at our past lives, we're able to release negative emotions that's preventing us from our full expression and preventing us from creating the story that we want to have in our life. So just to close on this is just remembering that these negative emotions, negative thoughts, and negative experiences in our lives are not who we truly are, and to forgive ourselves and to remember that's showing you who you're not, and to let go of that and move and allowing the real you to come through, allowing your inner child to say what it has to say, and to really fully express your true self. It's just getting out of the way, just getting all this stuff out of the way for you to express your true self. Right, so I hope this video was helpful. I hope you got something out of it, and much love, peace, reflection, love, and yeah, peace.